Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your man Ronan, and this message is definitely brought to you by AGame. So you already know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to be very candid about this conversation. Whatever the title of this video is going to be is going to reflect what I'm thinking on this, since this is a seriously hot topic that needs to be discussed. In many conversations, both on and offline, I tend to refer to this passage when I have certain discussions. It's better to be a warrior in the garden rather than a gardener in the battlefield. Now, what we just seen in the past 48 hours, close to 72, is one of many examples as to why I say certain things like that. Let's put this into context. As men, across the board, especially melanated men, you wake up in the morning, you have your mind set on what you're looking to accomplish that day. You try to get your breakfast, you're trying to get your routine and get yourself in a level of zen where you can maneuver, your day will be fluid, you're looking to get a decent day. If you have a great day, that's awesome. You have enough things on your mind, regardless of whether you're Martin Luther King Street or Wall Street. You have a whole set of things in your mind, because again, that's how we're set. We're going somewhere, we're looking to get things accomplished, aside from bills, aside from people we associate with, aside from the work of the day, and whatever things that we have as leisure, or things that we help to monetize our purpose or promote it. Now, with all that going on, I'm going to go on to the warrior part. There are many of us, both civilian and veterans, that are soldiers. Some are street soldiers. Some are guys that are laid back, but they take courses, be it boxing or whatever martial art, to defend themselves. Then you have the military or law enforcement. And they do what they do. They know a lot of times with the training they require, they have to have a level of discipline with the teachings they're receiving. Because as a Marine Corps veteran, I'm literally trained to kill. It's not something that we brag about, it's something that we know. Same thing with my fellow veterans in their respective branches, or people in law enforcement, whatever branch that affords them certain specific training to do what they do. Even firemen, regardless of whatever their profession. There are men out here who are looking to do things as far as like worried about their conditioning, worried about defending themselves and what they love. Every day, in this society especially, you walk around and you hear things what you are not. You're deemed as toxic. You're deemed as pointless. You're reduced to being spiritually impaired mules of provision. You find all manner of individuals across the board who show their resentment towards you, looking to use you, abuse your time, waste your resources. In some instances, some people are looking to destroy your credibility and you in general. Being a man in this day and age especially is a very fine balancing act. Most of the times, all you can afford that man is peace of mind. Aside from some box, which sometimes that can be problematic. But if anything, you got guys who find things to do when they need to unwind after a long, productive day or a rough day. Sometimes it's music. Sometimes they might need a drink. Sometimes they might need a smoke, an edible, or what have you. That man's mental clarity, that man's ability to really release the weight of the world off his shoulders is very important to that man. And when you have a society that not only promotes participation trophies, but individuals who feel entitled to disrespect what you've done, denigrate your family and your accomplishments, and outright find many ways unnecessary to test your patience, and have the unmitigated gall to believe that they're above not only reproach, but a needed response from being fucked with. You start seeing certain instances online, in the news, and even in videos in general, to where certain men, some women, but most men, being pushed to a point to where they activate that switch and they have to go check a bitch, mainly the male ones. Now I need to talk about the gardener in the battlefield. There are individuals who are socially inept, socially inert, to where they feel like you have these keyboard cowards who get online, or you have individuals who get on this little tough Tony talk, or they have this beer muscles, or they have to have something to put a battery in their back, knowing damn well they're not built for all that. The reason why being that gardener in the battlefield, that's basically an example of letting an individual know that they fucked up. They're at the wrong place at the right time, surrounded by the right people to teach them the right lessons at the cost of their lives and their health and their safety, and everything they hold and love dear. The warrior is willing to die for what he's earned, be it his reputation, be it his home, be it his family, being his peace of mind and respect. But you see, the gardener in the battlefield, it shows that he's wandered into territory that he is not built for. Now, the whole thing about digging a hole, it will come useful, but unfortunately, it's to his detriment. Usually, in this context, you have individuals online and off who dig a hole for themselves by disrespecting a man at a distance or in public, not paying attention to body language, not knowing what discipline this man has been trained in, being socially inept to the point where he doesn't know who this person knows, who they're with, and within proximity. See, this goes beyond this situation that goes on right here. This is one of many incidences that seem to frequent this space, and I've been in this space a long time and seen a lot of things. But offline, it's just similar, but a whole nother animal. See, while you have the gardener who's been out there digging his holes in the wrong place, those who are battle tested, be it willingly and unwillingly, they already know how to maneuver in the battlefield. The gardener doesn't. All he wants to do is sit there and decide to pull flowers out there. Now, the warrior, he'll see use of them once he's done showing you through his discipline the lessons you need to learn, and bearing the issue, and sometimes you. This isn't a threat to anybody, but the thing is, we as men have to really learn to understand and respect a man's space, boundaries, and reputation. Certain individuals, when they get scared, they make stupid decisions. What they're not knowing is that they're virtual signaling on the dark hand side. They're showing people that they are scared. But there are certain people who are looking for those signals to prey upon weak-minded bastards like what we're seeing now. Now, whatever comes of this situation, this is something that's been in the works because someone cemented that with their words and their actions and intent. That's the thing about writing a check that your ass can't cash. When you learn how to respect a man's boundaries, when you know some guys have nothing to lose, or You got guys who will die to preserve everything that they've earned. You had that healthy respect there. We might not get along. Look, we might have our words. We go our separate ways because we already know the flight or fight instincts get heightened. The adrenaline starts rushing, and your muscles start tensing up. This is why I call these individuals regimented lames, because they have the repetitive pattern of not learning the lessons of history. Being a chronic addict to revisionist history dooms you to become history, because you are going to repeat the mistakes that you failed to learn. See, as a military veteran, I don't go around here promoting myself as a badass. That's not my issue, because number one, as a man who has sense and looks to protect himself, he doesn't show his hand like that. There is a saying that real killers don't talk. So that way we can tell by the tone, we can tell by how a man's body language is conveying certain things. See, when you have that healthy rapport, you're able to get a lot more done. Now, some people are indignant. Some people act like some real assholes out here, figure you're not entitled to talk to them, or they feel that they can talk down to you certain ways. And there's ways that men handle these things. Sometimes because they know they can beat the brake pads off a person. Like they might chuckle and laugh it off, and they'll crack jokes because they're trying to create a sense of levity to lighten up the situation, at least for themselves. Sometimes they'll use that comedy to turn the crowd against this individual and embarrass them. That way they run out of there with their whatever pride they have left as a sense of self-defense. Then we worry about protecting your intimate space. Because now when this comes into play, when I tell guys, it always takes a pussy to expose and control one. Because, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, haven't you noticed some of the guys that talk about being all about that smoke and having all that air in their lungs and just being this rah-rah nonsense, and you look around or you can listen in the background and there's a chick in the vicinity, or women especially. You have goofies out there, the gardeners, who want to play to a crowd and hoping to get the crowd on his side, like he's doing things for the audience. When you have a warrior out there who just wants to be left the fuck alone, wants to go about his way. Thing is, many of us don't take pride in inflicting pain on people. But there comes a point when you back that man into a corner, when you start attacking the things that he loves and values. You're talking about him too much to the point where he's getting past the point of annoyance. And you go out here and go head forth with a level of disrespect to the point where, you know what, I can't take no more. Something has to be done. Some of us will choke a dude out, and they'll tell him, tap or snap. Some of them will lightly demonstrate, look, son, I can fuck you up. You better cool out before I fix you up. Others don't care. Some are looking for a reason to put hands on you. And see, when it comes to all that point, when a man has made his mind up and it's his purpose to put his foot in your ass, all that sweet talking, all that negotiating and all that bullshit means nothing. It's on deaf ears. He's not trying to hear that. He's trying to get his tribute of blood and his foot out of your ass. The thing is, the man's too worried about going into the world of putting skin in the game. When you're online like an internet goofy, you cyber crips, you fucking broadband bloods, you terabyte thugs, you thug cells, feel comfortable thinking you're running off in the mouth and talking about somebody because you believe in the illusion of distance and safety. How do you know this person doesn't know how to get access to an IP address? There's websites to find out where you're at. There are means and ways for individuals to bring that smoke to your front door. And what are you going to do when they're not looking to ask for the tip? They're looking to put a foot in your ass or worse. What you see out here and all this clout fishing, all this talking down to men, and all these disrespectful means of embarrassing the man in a public space, you can never avoid the necessity of values, nor choices that you make that lead to the consequences that are deserving. It's bad enough there are individuals and entities that are hunting us for sport. In other means, financially, spiritually, physically, socially, you name it. And with men having to deal with that in real time, why do you want to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? So this is why I encourage the brothers, since we're solution oriented, to learn how to get outside the house. There's a bigger world outside of cyberspace. Cyberspace is supposed to be a tool to where you learn different languages, learn how to use your money to work across the board to make it work overtime for you. Learn how to be socially adept to where you can be flexible, socially be flexible. You can go on places and learn how to blend in a little better. Not in the pursuit of box, but to actually network and build solid relationships. Earn the brotherhood of brothers. Learn how to build trust so you can create a trust. Shout out to Sheep Stay Sleep. Learn the tolerance level of people, knowing when you're going too far, which the garden has no understanding of tolerance levels. That's why I refer to him as the individual who always digs hole for himself and others, because that's the other part. The gardener does not take into account some of the things he digs up. There's collateral damage in that. How many times have you looked on the news and seen people lost friends, family, associates, opportunities because the one idiot or a few who did not give a damn about the consequences to follow? Sometimes the consequences don't hit you, but the ones closest to you. That's not masculine. This is not what men do. And I don't care what generation you're from. You need to understand, this goes beyond individuals from the big city or the small city or whatever. With all that mouth you're running, there's always a bad motherfucker waiting to test your ass. And he's got the check, and he's ready to cash it in on you whenever you show up. And most times, you guys tend to forget what on-site means. It does not mean he has to lock eyes with you. If he does, he's looking to see that fear in your eyes before he fucks you up. There are some individuals who do not care. And if they can't get you, they get the one others closest to you to send the message, do not step on what I built. I don't know how many times we have to reiterate it to you goofies. You need to learn how to move as masculine men. This is why I say, in a joking way, but it's really serious, untuck your nuts. Stop acting like diet females, getting all catty online. Because once you start doing all that, you need to be weary of the day when someone comes up and ready to pop you being a pussy online or off. All that tough talk does nothing for the gardener. Because as men, be it veterans in the military or in the street, we have battlefield awareness. First and foremost, we're assessing the situation while you're running your mouth. We're looking at our proximity, who you came with, what do we have access to, where can I hit your ass for maximum effect, exit routes, using my surroundings to my advantage. Is there law enforcement in here or anybody who's going to impede my progress from gradually fucking you up? All of this can happen in a matter of seconds, or it depends on how long this son of a bitch keeps on talking. Is he paying attention to my body language, letting him know, look, you need to shut the fuck up now, or I will help you? Because Knuckle Fellowship can be a team sport. We need to get back to being men. We always consult about the 10 life values. Number 1 is spiritual. Thing is, it goes into knowing yourself. Knowing what you're about knowing what you need to do. That way you don't have to worry about dealing with other people as much. You don't bring smoke to people who don't need it. Now, if there's individuals who are out there disrespecting your space, there is a thing called self-defense. But when you can't take constructive criticism, when you can't take a joke, when you run around with this emotional hypervigilance, you start really seeing who you really are. And those who know people like this, you need to take inventory of who you're dealing with. Because the bullshit they talk today could be the very person that brings the smoke, that brings some heat to your door that you didn't ask for. Because if you think about it, silence is compliance. And you can take that for what you will. So I'm saying to the brothers, look, this is one important example that you need to see in real time. Especially, Generation Z and whatnot. Learn to value your space and the space of others. If there's someone you don't like it, cool. Keep it pushing. You got things to take care of. You got things you're building. You got things you love to preserve. Let that be that. But I will encourage you, if anybody tries to impede on your progress, anybody tries to put you in a space where your masculinity is tested and is certified, defend yourself in your name. Stand on your word. If you say it, mean it. That means dealing with the consequences, good, bad, or indifferent. That's what men do. And then knowing that, learn how to choose your battles. Because you notice, most of the guys who have the most to say ain't going to do shit but dig holes for themselves. So again, in closing, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. And it's better to be the warrior in the garden rather be a clown-ass gardener digging his own grave in the battlefield. Simplify.